put taro and fish in their lunch bag. They said, no, we're ashamed of that. We want you to put the bread and rice and canned meat. And
Well,
I don't know why they got the idea that it's shameful to eat their own.
well, I heard now that the schools just got some new funding to do school lunches, where they feed the kids at school.
Yes, but the problem is they will go to the store and buy ramen and rice. I hope. See, our problem is we women want to grow enough food, and so the price of local food will come down. But the problem is most women work in town for money. And when they have young children, they give to the grandmothers and the old people who stay home, who don't work. So there's nobody to do the work. Our taro patches are overgrown. You came from the community house down there.
Mm-hmm.
You came by those taro patches near the bridge.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, they're overgrown with weeds. When I was young, there was no weeds in there because people harvest and clean it. Now they don't care for taro. They're buying rice, so they don't take care of their taro patches.
Yeah, the last couple days I've had some at the restaurant. They usually put a few pieces of it in the food.
Where are you staying at?
At the Monterey Bay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they've put. Usually they'll do a coconut creamed taro and tapioca too.
If you get used to it, it's quite good. People have to get used to it, and our children, they don't eat it, they don't get used to it.
Yeah, it's pretty tough stuff.
And also, it's hard for the mothers to, they wake up in the morning, they're in a hurry to go to work, so they want to boil rice, which is quicker, more convenient. I was thinking maybe we should first grow enough taro and then later probably find a way of preserving them so we don't have to spend so much time cooking it in the morning. Can probably boil them and freeze them or something. Especially now when people have freezers.
Well, how long does it keep once you put it in the refrigerator?
We can freeze it and it will keep a year. Just take it out of the freezer and boil some water. When the water is boiling, just take it out from the freezer and drop it in the boiling water.
Real good with corned beef.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, we're really heading for a problem because we don't have money and we're acting like we will continually have money. And nobody's working on ways to get the money or cut down the expenses. I was translating the Constitution Convention of 1982, the Yapese State Constitution. And there were some very good suggestions from some old people, but the younger people didn't listen to them. And this old man said, in the past we had only 3 high chiefs of this island. And they're the ones who get together with their lower chiefs and decide what to do. And they spread the words all over and we follow. So why do we have to have so many big chiefs now when we don't have money to pay for them? We have to have the governor and all his staff and the executive branch. We have to have the legislative branch. We have the Council of Pilung, Council of Tamoil from the outer islands, and then we have the Congress. And we don't have the money. Where do we think we're going to get the money for all these people? Why not just keep our government small, employees small, like in the past? Just 3 chiefs, and the rest of the people will be village chiefs, municipal chiefs, and village chiefs, and we didn't pay for them in the past. But nobody listened, Because people who went to school learn about democratic government and the U.S. government, they want to have something like that without thinking about where to get the money.
Well, it's definite. Our U.S. government is way too big.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many people. They can't get anything done.
And it's very hard for us here. At least U.S. have big government, but they have the money. We don't have the money, and we are so spoiled. I'm very proud of my nephew here.
Mm-hmm.
When they had their high school graduation, everybody went to wear a graduation robes.
Right.
And they pay $30 for that robe to wear it just one time and then put it away. And so my cousin here said, I will not wear the robe, I will wear my shoe. So only him and another boy wore the shoe, and they didn't wear the robe. And I was very proud of him. Why wear robes? Just to copy other people who have money when we don't have the money.
And that's a lot. That's a lot to spend on something you only wear once.
Yeah.
You should have seen our prom.
Yeah.
They were wearing high heels in mud.
Yeah, we really ought to. I don't know. So listening to the radio the other day, the young people, the youth congress, they're asking the one legislator if there's any plan of having another school in Yap, a vocational school. Of course we need vocational school, but that will cost a lot of money to have one in Yap only. And I was thinking, these people, they think that we'll always have this money. Instead of preparing for the time when the appropriation stops, they're just thinking of putting on more expenses.
Let me fix this for you.
Okay, thanks. Well, what they need to do is that the problem too is that Yap doesn't really produce anything that it can sell. There's no product here except for
Culture.
What?
Culture.
Well, it's culture and tourism.
Tourism.
But it's so expensive to get here that you don't get a lot of tourists now because it costs so much money just to come here that you're not going to get a lot of Americans coming here in the next couple of years because things are so bad back home right now that nobody can afford the $2,000 it takes to fly here.
That's true.
I mean, part of what would help a lot is if you get if the airline drops the airfares.
That's what our office was telling us interns that the problem right now is the airline. The hotels are telling the airlines to lower their fares, and they would make more rooms but the airline wants the hotels to make the rooms first before they lower their fares. So it's a first step no one wants to take.
Right. And there's only the one airline out here too, so they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Yeah.
But I think for tourism, we ought to have. There are many things tourists can enjoy seeing which we don't do anymore. Like, for example, we have in the past we have different kind of fishing. Like fishing with the net, fishing with coconut fronds, net, net to scoop fish with, like flying fish, fishing for flying fish. And then we have the arrow-shaped stone weirs that we catch fish with. And then we have arrow-shaped bamboo traps that we put in the water and catch fish. Then we have another net that you push on the bottom of the shallow water and all the fish get caught in the net. And all these things we don't do anymore. And bamboo traps for fish and traps for mangrove crabs. and lobsters. We used to have all that. Now the old people who used to make these traps are gone. And if we had these traps, maybe more things for tourists to see. Like for example, if the tourists come to Monterey for diving, after they dive, they have to stay for a certain period of time before they can fly.
Right, it's 24 hours before you can
Yeah.
fly.
Then they can go see all these things. Those of them who are interested can see how it's people fish for lobster or for all kinds of fishing ways.
Well, they've got a cultural tour that they do, but you have to get 8 people to go on the tour, or else they won't do it. And I was telling Jonathan earlier that it doesn't make sense that a village would say if you don't have 8 people, don't send them at all, because I mean if you've even got a couple people, that's still extra money for the village, and it's still money that they didn't have before. Because there were people that wanted to do a cultural tour, but there wasn't enough of them.
I
It's the villagers that put us in this situation. Everyone wants to get paid
Right.
in order to do something, so
see. Yeah. So if it's tourism we want, then we should teach the children some of these things that tourists would like to see.